Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ellison Travel's Dream Now, Travel Later series featuring Roundwood House, a charming countryside estate in the heart of Ireland. My name is Kathy Ellison from Ellison Travel and Tours, and for those of you not familiar with our company, Ellison Travel is a full-service travel agency in business since 1980, with offices in Exeter and London, Ontario, and North Vancouver, BC, and sales representation in Ottawa, Toronto, and Calgary. We are 100% Canadian owned and operated, and we are somewhat unique in the travel business in that we sell everything: vacations and cruises, corporate and business travel, private customized tours for students and adults, and public tours for special interest groups, which include a women's only travel division, tours for seniors, and culinary and wine tours. We service clients across Canada and abroad. And along with the rest of the world, we are dreaming now of traveling later, and we are delighted to transport you virtually to Roundwood House in Ireland. I've traveled to Ireland many times, and without question, Roundwood House is my favorite accommodation choice for many reasons, not the least of which is the fact that the owners, Hannah and Paddy Flynn, are my family. My nephew, Paddy Flynn, was born in Kitchener, Ontario, made his way to Ireland in his 20s, where he fell in love with Hannah and Ireland, and where their story begins. Their Roundwood House story, however, begins with Hannah, who grew up at Roundwood House with her 5 siblings, her parents owning and operating that business for 25 plus years. So combine Hannah's experience, knowledge, and contacts in this business, and Paddy's skills as a renowned chef, musician, and host/storyteller. Add in 2 delightful Irish daughters, Emily and Lucy, who you will see in this video. And this is a winning combination. Hannah and Paddy don't need family to promote their business. They're winners of many industry awards and have hosted famous guests over the years whose privacy they'll respect. And you also don't need to be family to be treated as such, as many of their guests have attested to. As a tourist, you'll find Roundwood House is a perfect location as a stepping off point. Within a 1 to 2 hour drive in any direction, you will hit the most celebrated tourist attractions Ireland offers, while enjoying the charm of a 300-year-old plus countryside estate. So let's take an hour off from this pandemic and visit with Paddy and Hannah Flynn at Roundwood House. And by the way, the music in the video you are about to watch is written and performed by Paddy.
You're upset by the silence. We're breaking down the doors to get you into safety from the animals and storms. Just look at all you've become. You see your face on someone new. Stretch it out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Paddy Flynn. This is my lovely wife, Hannah, and my two fantastic robot children, Emily and Lucy. And together, the four of us run Roundwood House, a Georgian country estate in the heart of Ireland. And I would just like, first of all, to thank Kathy, Michelle, Brenna, and everybody at Ellison Travel who've allowed us this opportunity to connect with people during this time when many connections have been severed. So without waffling on too much, I have to look at notes here that are telling me what not to say. I'm not allowed to say certain things. Anyways, I'm going to pass on to Hannah. Have I forgotten anything in the beginning?
No, that's
No?
everything. No.
Thanks.
So girls, you can be excused for the time.
For a
being,
minute,
if
go
you'd
clean something,
like.
wash something or clean something.
So what we're going to try and do today is just give you a sense of the Roundwood experience virtually until you can actually come and experience it in real life. So I'll talk a little bit about the history of Roundwood. Then we'll chat about our individual roles in the business. And Paddy will talk about the food because that's his bag.
Food bag.
And then we will just tell you a little bit about the guest experience, what you can expect if you were to come and stay, and then things to do in the area. So yeah, let's start with the history.
Right, we'll keep that.
I'll do the history. Yeah.
You do the history. Keep that fairly short. If we were to tell it in real time, it would take 300 years and nobody, actually, maybe we do have that kind of time these days. What else are you doing during the pandemic? All right, Hannah, the history of Roundwood House as told by Hannah Flynn.
Okay, so Roundwood is a Quaker house, and it was the land was originally purchased by a prominent Quaker called Anthony Sharp. He purchased 1,700 acres back in the 1600s, and it was his son then that built the main house in the year 1731 or thereabouts. So yeah, almost 300 years old. And then
What happened? Oh.
So his grandson built this house. Then it passed down, just skipping along quickly, passed down through the generations. Where there wasn't a son to inherit, it would pass to the firstborn male cousin. So the women didn't really get a look in until I came along. And then in the 1960s, a family by the name of Hamilton owned it, and they went bankrupt, and the land around the house was sold off down to the last 18 acres, and the house itself was boarded up and left sitting empty for about 10 years. And at that point then, the Irish Forestry Board had a deposit on the land. They were going to purchase the land, but would have had no interest in keeping the house. And thankfully, the Irish Georgian Society stepped in and saved the house. So Desmond Guinness had set up the Irish Georgian Society a short time before that, and they saved huge numbers of beautiful Georgian properties around the time. So decided that Roundwood was a house that was worth saving, and
That should be our new marketing tagline.
yeah.
Okay, anyways.
So they moved a caretaker into the house who spent 10 years restoring it. And he would have had a team of volunteers working with them. And they did a lot of the big jobs. So they converted the dressing rooms in each of the bedrooms into bathrooms. So all the bedrooms are en suite. And they would have rewired the whole house at that time. They would have also put in the central heating, which is obviously essential in a 300-year-old house in Ireland. And the caretaker then died after 10 years. Actually, I should say as well, during that time, it became known as a real party house. So the Rolling Stones are said to have partied here, and Eric Burden of the Animals fame recorded an album in the front hall. Which, what album was it?
Darkness, Darkness, the uplifting Darkness, Darkness album was recorded in our front hall, which is now being replicated by me. Well, no, it's not.
Okay.
I'm recording music.
So many an interesting story from that time. We still regularly get guests who were here in the 70s and remember some of the wild parties that took place at that time. So then moving swiftly along, the caretaker died and the Irish Georgian Society decided to sell at that point. My parents were living in Dublin, had 4 kids, 2 more followed afterwards. So there are 6 of us all together. They were looking to buy somewhere outside of Dublin. They had just had enough of city life, wanted to get out to the country, and Roundwood came on the market. So they came to see it, fell in love with it, and the rest is history. So I grew up here. I was 5 when my parents bought Roundwood.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't want me to show you that photo, but there she is, 5 years old, walking down the stairs.
Yeah. And actually, one of the lovely things about having grown up here and then, moving back is watching our kids grow up here, and they're having the same magical childhood that I had. So my parents ran the house, as Kathy mentioned in her introduction there. They ran the house for 25 years as a guest house. And then almost 13 years ago, myself and Paddy moved down and took over the business. And yeah, I think Paddy still wakes up here and wonders how he ended up in a country house in the middle of Laois, all the way from Kitchener, Ontario.
And my way came from a dream or a nightmare when I was that. No.
So Paddy's going to talk about your role in the business.
My role in the business is the fun one, according to me. One of us had to do the cooking, and it just so happened I like doing it better than Hannah, so I fell into that and fell in love with cooking. And as it turns out, where we're located, we're blessed with amazing produce. The land here in the Midlands of Ireland is very good, and so we deal with local producers, and we have lots of amazing organic suppliers. And our butcher has a farm down the road, and he has his own butcher shop a few miles away, his own abattoir. So everything is, it's from farm to table, as they say.
Yeah.
And thanks keeping me on track, Hannah. My other job is I tell lies to people and sing them songs. Really, just entertaining people has been my the thing that I have shone at, or so I like to think that's what I'm good at. But so I take the guests that Hannah softens up early on in the day, and after their communal dining experience where they meet their new best friends, we reconvene in the drawing room where we tell lies and sing songs, which is kind of a third of life, really. It should be. And now, Hannah, what do you do here?
So I potter. Yeah, no, I try and be here to meet all our guests on arrival. So I would show them in. I also look after the breakfast, so cook the breakfast and serve the breakfast, and then do all the boring behind the scenes stuff. So manage the website and the accounts and that side of things. So I don't get all the fun jobs, and I'm regularly told how lucky I am to have found Paddy. And what people don't realize is that I actually headhunted Paddy. I'm not sure if you knew that, did you? But no, he's perfect for the job. I grew up here, so I knew what I was getting into. It was a bit of a shock to Paddy's system coming into the business, but he's settled in very well.
I fit all the chef clothes and everything, so it worked out well. When we talk about, I feel that we're waffling a bit. So before we lose people, how about yes. So the food, I've already kind of talked about the food. We have amazing producers of great organic products. Am I just saying words now? So from the porridge that we get in the morning to the beer that you have before bed, it is sourced locally and produced locally, and we make everything ourselves, from bread to the scones, the flapjacks, to the children that will serve you. Everything is homemade, and it's part of the destination desirability of Roundwood. People come here just to sort of unplug, hang out in the country, breathe some country air, and have
eat some good food and drink some good wine.
Yeah. And so now,
do you want to just tell them about the communal dining, because I think that's important as well?
Well, sure. Communal dining. Yeah, that's part of our model, was having everybody join at one big table. It'll be much bigger now with a few a meter between everybody. But yeah, it's people have made best friends at the table. You know, we've gotten postcards from people who've met as strangers at our dining room table, and they've gone on holiday cruises together and shown up at each other's houses and the States and Canada and things. So it's a really magical bonding kind of experience. There's no TVs or flashy distractions. It's really just sort of reduces you to your fundamental elements of your personalities and your imagination, and you come here and you share them, and boom, friends. So now we've been talking a lot, so I'm just gonna show a little video that I think will give you an idea. We wanted to show you what the whole visitor experience would be like, but in the absence of guests, we had to improvise. So this here is a reimagining of the experience you will have as guests when you finally arrive. I'm sharing my screen, right? Yes, I am. And ladies and gentlemen, away we go. Alrighty, folks, and we are back. So there you go. Imagine yourself as either a guinea pig or a puppy, and you kind of get the idea of what life will be like when you're staying with us. And now Hannah is going to tell you a little bit about the guest experience that you just saw in animal form. She'll translate it for the humans. Go, Hannah.
So guests arrive, we show them up to their rooms. Rooms are beautiful, large, with all of their original Georgian features. So lovely proportions, big sash windows, brightly coloured walls, and all en suite, as I mentioned earlier. So then they come downstairs and have homemade biscuits and tea and coffee, weather permitting, on the lawn. But as you all have probably heard, it rains a lot in Ireland, so more often than not by the fire in the drawing room. And we have a number of beautiful reception rooms. So we have the drawing room, also a beautiful study, and then this library that we're sitting in now. So lots of kind of cozy corners for guests to spend time in. Then after their tea and coffee, guests generally go and explore the gardens and the outbuildings. So there's beautiful old outbuildings to be seen. And then if anyone's particularly interested in the history of the house, myself or Paddy will do a tour in the afternoon as well. And so then people come in for pre-dinner drinks around about 7 o'clock. And then the dinner gong is rung at 8 o'clock. Everybody comes in for dinner, communal if it suits people. And then back to the drawing room after dinner for tea, coffee, and songs and storytelling generally. So I should say the house is perfect for solo travelers. And yeah, it's a good way to meet other like-minded travelers, I suppose, over the dinner table. Also good for couples, small groups, and then also works really well for exclusive hire. So, you know, you can take over the whole house, 10 bedrooms altogether on an exclusive basis. And that's, we were going to do a little video walking tour of the grounds. We would do it in real life, but our internet isn't up to it. So
Oh, it did. Well, and this is the Speed Walkers tour of our grounds, and it's always great to throw a little bit of the Pixies in there. So for all you Pixies fans and speed walking fans, here you go.
good volume.
Outside there's a boxcar waiting. Outside the family store. Out by the fire breathing. Outside we wait till face turns blue. I know the nervous walking. I know the dirty bit hangs. Out by the boxcar waiting. Take me away to nowhere place. There is a wait so long. You never wait so long. Here comes a man. Here comes a man. Here comes a man. Big shake on the boxcar moving. Big shake to the land that's falling down. If the wind makes the palms stop blowing, a big storm falling, break my crown. There's a wait so long. You never wait so long. Here comes a man. Here comes a man. Here comes a man. Here comes a There's a wait so long. You never wait so long.
Alrighty, folks. So now we've got a few more things to say.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that for anyone that decides to venture off the property, there's lots to do in the surrounding areas. So we're at the foot of the Slieve Bloom Mountains, so one of the oldest mountain ranges in Ireland, and there are no end of activities to do. So between kind of hiking, walking, there's beautiful loop trails for all, to suit all levels of fitness. There's also mountain biking. There's actually, within the next 6 months, we're going to have the biggest, Paddy, we're going to have the biggest mountain bike trail in Ireland, actually. So for the more adventurous amongst you, and plenty of options for bike hire and all the rest. Then there's also horse riding available, fishing, golfing, and then no shortage of heritage sites as well. So castles and old houses, and what else? Castles, old houses.
New houses.
High crosses, yeah, all things Irish. And then because we're so central, we're within easy driving distance of a lot of the bigger and more famous tourist sites in Ireland as well.
Pretty much, yeah, perfect. For one size fits all. So now we're going to do something that, so music was before I moved down here, it was a big part of my life. That's what I did to avoid working. And now that we've been locked away for the last year, I've made these, my robot children, into a band. And so now we're going to sing a song. That this would often happen when guests arrive. Well, you know, when people are here, music happens. I'm not sure how to do this properly. So maybe Hannah will.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, please. Okay. So let's put on my library slippers. So folks, if anybody has any musical inclinations, please don't be shy when signing up to say what it is. And also, if you have any DIY skills, maybe we just won't let you go. Ideally, an electrician who plays a mean piano, you'd never leave here. Are you ready, ladies? So we thought we'd, in honor of Canada, we thought we'd play a song from our favorite show that the pandemic has taught us, Schitt's Creek. And this is a song for anybody who's seen Schitt's Creek. This is a song, first song by Tina Turner, best song by Patrick. And this is our version of that song. you go, ladies. All right, folks. Well, thanks a million for taking some time out of your pandemic to hang out with us. I think we're going to pass you back over to Kathy now. So thanks. Yeah, thanks for sharing some time with us. Can't wait to see you here.
And questions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, question.
Questions and answers coming up.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, if you'd like to put it into the chat box, I have collected a few, one from Facebook Live. How many guests can you accommodate?
So we have 10 bedrooms and 2 self-catering cottages. So we would often take a group of 24 where they take the whole house, and we would rent the cottages as extra bedrooms. So kind of max 24, minimum 1.
Okay, great. Is there public transport available, or is a car essential for visiting?
I would say a car is pretty important because we're 5 kilometers from the nearest town. So, you know, for a night or two, it would be fine to come without a car, but certainly any longer, I think you would want to have a car so you could explore the area during the day. So once you're here, yeah, there are no buses or anything that pass the gate. You know, we can collect from the train station in Portlaoise, which is about 20 minutes from us. But yeah, that would be for a day or two, definitely. I think I would.
Okay, so a car would be pretty
Right.
essential. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just jump in here and tell you about something Doug and I did a few years ago with a few other couples. Was we were in it was more than a van. I guess it was a small bus, but it took 8 of us. It would take 8 people. You were able to walk up and down the aisle in it. It had a little fridge in it. It came with hired it with a driver guide who toured around Ireland with us, and we ended up at Roundwood for a few days. That was a nice way to do it. If you're not comfortable driving, please speak to us. There's you know, maybe some options like that. That was a really fun thing to do, and we really enjoyed it.
That's great. We've got some more questions. How far is Roundwood from Dublin Airport or Shannon Airport?
It's equidistant, pretty much. Depending on traffic, you could be there in an hour or an hour and a half. Either way, it just would depend on the time of the day, but it would never take you more than an hour and a half. And I have often made it in about 50 minutes. I would not recommend driving like me. My mom certainly wouldn't, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd say on average an hour to an hour and a half for both.
Okay, great. And how do we get to Roundwood from Dublin?
Very direct. It's the M7, so one of the main highways. It would be the main Dublin to Limerick road, and we're halfway down that, and then exit 18, and we're 15 minutes from there. So I suppose most people traveling have access to Google Maps now, but I can email very specific directions if anyone needs them.
Excellent. Thank you. If I want to split my time between Northern Ireland and the Republic, can this be done?
Absolutely. But Kathy, you might like to answer that, would you?
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's sort of what I was speaking about before. That was the trip that we did. One of the trips that we did, and we started in Dublin with a driver guide that took us to Northern Ireland, and we did a circle around, came to Galway, Cork, up through the center of Ireland, and ended up at Roundwood House for 3 nights. There's lots of ways that you can do that, or you can drive yourself if you wish. Anyways, if you're interested in something like that, please speak to us and we'll help you set that up.
Can I stay at Roundwood and travel around the country doing day trips? Could it be kind of like a center point to explore?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Particularly coming from Canada, where you're used to kind of big distances, you know. So within 2 hours of us would be Galway, Cork, Limerick, Dublin, Kilkenny. So yeah, everything is pretty much within 2 hours, unless you go to the far kind of southwest coast or Donegal.
Okay, great. Now, do you do events and weddings on site?
We do. We do theater and music events a few times through the year. I mean, this has been an exceptional year in the lack of them, but usually about half a dozen music and theater events, and then we do small weddings and small celebrations up to.
Well, at the moment, we're just taking bookings for weddings for up to 25 people, just until we get a clearer picture of where things will go in terms of restrictions. And I should also say we've had a few requests from couples from the US recently to put together a whole package for them, including photographer, band, all the rest, and that's something I'm working on at the moment. So I'll have a document prepared soon. Just I think it can be very hard to plan a wedding from overseas, and if you bring in a wedding planner, it can be hugely expensive. So I think it would be quite appealing to people to be told, okay, this is what it's going to cost you for an all-in 2-day package, and they really don't have to do any of the organizing themselves.
Okay, that's great. What are the COVID restrictions in your area at the moment?
Oh, we're in full lockdown still. Yeah, so we can't leave our county, and nobody can come in. Very few countries are free to travel in and out of Ireland at the moment. So, but we're hoping, like most countries, we're hoping that things will start to open up by midsummer. But I'm not sure I don't know what your feeling is, Kathy. I can't imagine Canadians will be able to travel here before the end of the summer. And I think it's more likely to be 2022.
Yeah, most likely. I would agree.
Okay, so I have one more question here. When is the best time to visit Roundwood House?
Every time is the best time. The time that you're here is the best time. Time of year.
I'd say just like shoulder season. Although so we're situated in Laois, which is really not a touristy county. It's not known to a lot of overseas travelers, so it's never really busy here. Some of the counties on the west coast can get pretty hectic over the summer months, whereas it's like our weekends are always busy, but midweek is often just lovely and quiet. But I would say maybe from April to June, and then kind of September, are really nice times to be here, but also the summer months.
Well, the weather is completely bizarre and unpredictable, as anybody who spent any time in Ireland would know. But the actual summer months are often not the best weather. So we often get really lovely weather. May, June, and then it starts raining, and then it doesn't stop for months.
No, stop it.
I'm kidding. No. But then again in September and October, often, I mean, there's no rules in Ireland about many things, but definitely weather. So oftentimes those would be the times where the weather would be the best, but you just would never know.
Yeah, you're always guaranteed a solid week of sunshine when the kids go back to school. So that's the first weekend in September.
Yeah.
I've been there in May, and it was lovely, in the over 20, degrees.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with February.
No, and the great thing is it rarely rains consistently. There tends to be a real mix every day, so you get showers more than kind of ongoing torrential rain. So you have to be really unlucky just to get days of wet weather. It's usually a mixed bag.
the rule in Ireland, isn't it, that if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's changed.
That sums it up exactly.
It's great. Is there any more questions? I'm just one final. I did have someone asking about nightly cost of your facility.
Oh.
So
Yeah, so our B&B rate is 180 euro for a double room, so 2 people. And dinner is 60 euro per person. And I should have looked up the Canadian exchange rate. I'm not actually sure what it is at the moment.
It's great value.
yeah, excellent.
Awesome.
Okay, so I don't think there's any other questions. So I'll just hand it over to Kathy now.
Well, thank you, Paddy and Hannah, for welcoming us into your home and into your life. And a visit to Ireland is not complete, I think we see, without visiting Roundwood House and meeting your family and those being led through the property by those puppies. Thank you for giving us something to dream about and look forward to. So if you have any more questions that haven't been answered, please feel free to reach out to us at vacations@ellisontravel.com or call us at 800-265-7022 or reach out directly to Paddy and Hannah at info@roundwoodhouse.com. If friends or family weren't able to join us and would like to see this presentation, it will be on YouTube by tomorrow. If you go to our website, ellisontravel.com, and on the newsroom block under events, you will find the link. Anyway, as Canada and Ireland and the rest of the world is waiting out the 3rd wave of this pandemic, and we're all still under travel restrictions, we wanted to share this Dream Now, Travel Later series in the hopes that you would enjoy virtually visiting new places or returning to old favorite places, and maybe think about where you would like to travel in the future when travel opens up again. And travel will open up again. It's not, well, the world is not safe to travel just yet. It's certainly safe to start planning. We understand as we emerge from this pandemic that everyone will have their own level of comfort when it comes to travel, and we respect that, and we'll be here to assist you when you are ready. Peace of mind, traveling has never been more important than it is now. And Ellison Travel has been designated with the Safe Travel Stamp of Approval, which is an important logo to look for when you're choosing a travel provider. What it means is that you can be assured that together with our suppliers, we are following strict protocols to ensure your safety. We've spent years nurturing relationships with our suppliers, such as Paddy and Hannah at Roundwood. And when you book with us, you can have this peace of mind knowing that we're taking care of all aspects of your trip. And that also we're here to assist you 24/7 before, during, and after your trip. So travel as we knew it has changed. There's no doubt, but we're here to help you navigate those changes. Now, part of our Dream Now, Travel Later series, we invite you to join us in May for Viking Cruises Great Lakes Expeditions presentation. You can watch for dates on Facebook or through your Just Ask Ellison newsletter or on our website. And we hope you can join us. Thanks everyone for joining us. We hope to see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
you.
Bye. 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 Bye.